be starting soon. Can I just ask, Dr. Maxey, can you hear me? Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so Dr. Maxey is also here. If you would like to introduce yourself as well.
Dreaded unmute. Okay. Okay, everyone. I'm Anna Maxey. I am Assistant Head Director of Studies. One of my responsibilities is the options. I look after options from lower six GCSE and year 9, and that all feeds into the timetable, which is also one of my responsibilities. Over to you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick little summary of everything that we offer currently in year 9, and then moving on to obviously what the options are going to have. I'm just going to admit, give me 2 seconds, let me admit the following.
Miss Anastasia, I'll do the admitting if you want to carry on talking.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so year 9 options at Langley Schools. So this is an exciting step now into Langley School. The students are now going to give the option of picking a vast array of different types of options that we have within Langley. Some new subjects, as well as subjects that are going to be slightly different and a little bit more on choice. And I'm just going to start with the overview of what the core curriculum will have. And what I mean by the core curriculum will be all to do with a broad, balanced curriculum that we offer at school, just to allow the students just to reflect on their strengths and weaknesses around everything that we have. So the normal subjects that every student will continue to study is English, maths, and all the separate sciences. So they will have additional lessons with biology, chemistry, and physics. But they will also pick in year 9 one language that they would like to develop. And this might be the language that they currently learn. It might also be a slightly different one, because we also offer some acceleration courses to allow them to learn a new different language and then feel all ready for year 10 when they pick it fully for GCSEs. But we also offer, which we currently do at year 7 and year 8, is personal development education, so PDE. Which will allow the students to still understand study skills and be able to support their well-being, as well as different academic decisions and resilience methods that they learn. That will continue all the way up to sixth form, just giving a little bit more on life skills, and also understanding how yourself and your own development goes across with different year groups. On top of that, though, in year 9, they also have an additional lesson, and in enrichment time is a combined cadet force, which is our area that we can either choose in the Army, the Navy, or the RAF. And that helps them develop some teamwork and leadership skills, as well as our DOV Bronze Award as well is also going to be offered in year 9. Just so you're aware as well, they continue to do games. This will be Thursdays instead of Wednesdays, just to make sure that they still are playing against each other in different fixtures, but also have that teamwork element in there. So the combination of all the academic and personal development is there to design to support the whole child in year 9, and also provide a structure and a stability through the core curriculum. So making sure that we are going to continue that throughout every single aspect in year 9, moving on to year 10, and all those GCSE options moving into year 11. So how does the actual year 9 process work? So this is new to everybody, but it's meant to be an exciting time. It's now an opportunity for all of year 8s to start picking subjects based on their interests and their strengths. They then have to pick a modern language, but if they do learning support or EAL, they don't have to have that modern foreign language. On top of that, they pick 4 different options. Okay, so 4 different subject options, and pick 2 further reserves, just to allow that option. If some of the lessons are oversubscribed or the subjects are oversubscribed, then you then have your second option as available. This will all be on a Microsoft form, which the students will be given that on a letter sent home, and also they will all be carefully annotated and making sure that we are going towards their first choice as much as possible. The process is designed to support each other, and also understand that we are going to be trying to think about different subjects that your strengths are going to be involved in. They are not fixed though, okay, so they get to make more choices or additional choices in year 10. So there are going to be 2 different subjects that are going to be added into year 10 that are not quite offered into year 9, and I'll go through those in just a little bit. But they can resubmit their options in year 10 if they're not quite happy with the subjects that they've picked out in year 9. It gives them a chance to just have a little bit of a dabble in those areas, and then have that opportunity to change them if they feel like it in year 10. So how can you support as parents? It's just simply having a chat with your child and just encouraging them. What do they actually enjoy? They have to potentially do this for a whole year, so they want to be picking things that they really, really enjoy, but not what their friends are going to be doing. As much as the temptation is to go join your friends in those classes, you are not going to be wanting to do that subject. And that's the kind of advice we're going to be giving to our students here at Langley Senior. And I'm sure that will be a very similar thing at Langley Prep. It's just making sure that we are kind to guide them in those areas, but mainly gauge on what they enjoy and what they would like to potentially do in the future. We always think about things that are going to happen in the future and what jobs we're going to pick. But when I was their age, I didn't actually know what I wanted to do at that stage, but I picked subjects that I enjoyed. And as being a games member of staff, one of those subjects was PE. One of those subjects for your child might be art, for example, that they really, really enjoy, and that might be something that they want to pick within year 9. They prefer practical options, or do they prefer stuff that they enjoy off the coursework? Those will be questions that will be asked at Parents' Evening for our Langley Senior students. And if you have any questions for Langley Prep students to ask, particularly for the subjects that you are interested in and want to know a little bit more, there is that option to talk to them. But also, and I know that Dr. Maxey is going to potentially put that in the chat, hopefully, is the option booklet that you can find online. And that will then give you a little bit more detail in different areas for those subjects that you want to pick for next year. Additionally, it's wanting to potentially leave that door open for options that are going to enrich them in later life. So it might be something that they fully enjoy, but might be wanting to dabble in something. So please do guide them as much as possible and help support them as area. Okay, so, sorry, my slides won't seem to work. Oh, next slide. Okay, so why does this kind of matter? Why are we doing this in year 9? So we want to be exposing the year 9s just to help them be prepared for those GCSE options in year 10. We want to be able to get them understanding how important these subjects are now, and it allows them to actually have that information and start to learn the way of writing the exams and the coursework, and have those elements in there so they can be ready for it in year 10. Some courses don't formally begin until year 10. some courses are starting to learn the content ready for year 10. So if you are picking those options now, you're going to be understanding those areas. Okay, and if it is, so if it kind of understands that we're going to be working with kind of exploring those areas and fostering that decision making and preparing them for those academic challenges in the future. Okay, so ensuring that that personal growth is going to happen because they've got that choice and that little bit of freedom, it will allow them to also feel a little bit more grown up. So what subjects do we actually offer? So if we go to the nitty-gritty around it, we've got creative and some practical subjects in there. So art, textiles, DT, drama, academic PE, music, computer science, and food prep are only just a few. They are going to be there to create kind of that problem solving, those practical skills, and it's a little bit more hands-on learning. A lot of those subjects have coursework and also exams, so they're going to have a combination of both of those. And additionally, we have to pick a language unless you are learning, unless you have LS or EAL. So when you are picking those languages, you have the option between French, Spanish, and Mandarin. And there are options for beginners and also continued learners, which I kind of mentioned beforehand. So if you are new to a language, so you've recently been studying French and you would like to change to Mandarin for year 9, there is that option to do that, just to ensure that you are going to be doing a more intense course. So it'll be a lot quicker and it might be a little bit more in detail, just to bring you up to speed. So when you're ready for year 10. We also offer those geography and history options to help to allow you to have those extended writing and understanding of global historical context. And then finally, there are those specialist pathways, as I've mentioned before. So there is still going to be the option of the Langley Football Academy, which is something that I know that many of you are involved in. Additionally, there is that learning support and that English with additional language. These are all at additional costs, and they can be provided to you if you would like that to be known. So we've organised this webinar because we've had so many different questions throughout the years. So every time I've been head of year and also Dr. Maxi as assistant head, we've had loads of questions and we just wanted to ensure that you had that opportunity to explain them. So I wanted just to kind of go through some of the common questions that we've had. So the option choices that are going to affect those GCSE, as I've said before, it is not your final decision this year. So it is allowing the child to have that option to pick the subjects that they enjoy, but they might not enjoy them for the whole year. So they still have that option to change them in year 10. So they have that chance to turn it around and actually go, I don't want to do academic PE anymore. I would like to do art. They can potentially have that option to do that in year 10. There's also some options that maybe about careers. We want to explain there is no better option. Everybody, all of the options are ideal for the child in mind. There is no right or wrong with the options that we have on offer. We just managed to offer a broad range to allow the child to flourish as much as possible. There is, however, an option to study 2 different languages. So if you are keen and you know that your child is keen to learn 2 different languages, they have that option to do that in year 9. So they can study Mandarin as well as Spanish or vice versa with French. And it will allow them to then have that workload balance and interest around that too. There sometimes can be some worries around supporting the child, and we do offer that learning support if needed, and that can be an additional cost, especially with also EAL, so English as additional language too. But we do continue to offer during enrichment sessions those supported prep. So if there is any chance where your child is struggling with the prep that is to do with that option in year 9, they still have that option to do supported prep. So that would be further support on that aspect. But also the subject teacher is going to know exactly how your child is going to be in those lessons. And that's why we're going to be having those chats with those subject teachers next week for our Langley senior students, to allow them to have that little bit of reassurance. Is this the right option for me? Is this not? Okay, and also additionally, myself and Dr. Maxey will be available that evening to ask any further questions that you might not be able to ask tonight. So what's going to finally happen is that you are going to have an option to look at the options booklet, which I think Dr. Maxey's placed in the chat for you to have a quick look online. Please do have those chats with your child to make sure that you can look at all the different subjects that we do offer. Additionally, we've got those meetings, so you are more than welcome to chat with us directly, and we can maybe organise a telephone call for any further information, or any emails. We're available where needed. And with that Microsoft form will be sent out to all pupils, and they will be given a 2-week turnaround time to finalise those decisions. So they'll have a long time to think about it, and they'll have a more than enough time to ask us any questions that they might feel is obliged. And I'm going to leave there with questions and answers. So if you have any questions, please do place them in the chat. I think Dr. Max is answering a few, but I'm more than happy to answer anything else that pops in there.
Do you mind if I just say a couple of things, please, Miss? Thank you. Thank you. That was really thorough and excellent, and thank you for hosting this. Much appreciated. Big one for those senior school children. We have the parents' evening, which hopefully you will receive my letter. It did have a link in there also for the options booklet, but it's also in the chat. So that parents' evening is a key point to speak to all the options teachers. They'll all be really enthusiastic about their subject, but also be able to guide your child on how they're getting on and have an individualised conversation with them. So please do make the most of that. I will also be there on a table with options booklets in front of me, so it should be with a sign behind me that says options. So please do come and talk to me. I can talk you through everything from what's a good combination for your child to the practicalities of how to submit the options. Just for a bit of clarity, because I deal with the logistics of how this works, I will send out to you a Microsoft form. From the date you receive that, you will have 2 weeks to submit your options, their options. It will come to you as the parent, not to the children. So you have control over that. Obviously, we want it to be what the children want to, but it's a really important decision. So we want you to have the input and be gatekeepers for that. So you'll receive that Microsoft form. It's a really simple form. It is literally their name and their options in order of priority. Number 1 should be their absolute top priority. And we get a lovely thing we can offer at Langley is completely free choice. They don't need to pick a humanities, an art subject. They can pick all art subjects, or they can pick all the humanities. So it's really, we're able to tailor to what the child wants, which is just wonderful to be able to do. So, and from that, I then try and make it all work for everyone's preferred options, rather than really fixing people into those boxes. However, we don't always manage to achieve 100% success in terms of people's preferred options. So we ask you to include 2 reserve choices. I think that's it from me in terms of the logistical things. Just to reiterate, we will be there at Parents' Evening answering all your questions. So don't feel like tonight is the last moment to ask. We'll happily stay on and just listen to the items that come up in the chat. But if you have any further questions, please do come to us at Parents' Evening, or obviously email us is also a good option. That's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, so we've got a couple questions that are in the chat. Thank you very much, Dr. Maxey, for all of that clarification as well. I'm going to leave the e-baccalaureate to Dr. Maxey just to answer via the chat. I am just going to talk about the one from any tips on how to talk to your child if they want to select a subject that you are not sure is the right one for them. So we do recommend that just chatting to your child to ensure that they are kind of understanding the whole subject in mind. We understand that we do, and I know that there are going to be kind of guidings towards, because you know your child best, and that's the only way that we can obviously identify that. But I would encourage that you are more than welcome to have a chat with us. If you don't know how the lessons or the subjects run directly, the option booklet is there to understand what it includes. They are able to potentially try the subject out for a week, and I think, Dr. Maxey, please do let me know if this is not correct. So they are allowed to try the subject, and if they don't feel 100% comfortable, they are able to change that subject within the first couple weeks within school, and then that will allow them to try and pick a different subject if possible. Dr. Maxey, can I please ask if that was the correct information regarding the subject?
Yes, so you're right. It is really important that as much as possible that they go into year 9 choosing the correct subject for them. We don't want people really ideally changing, although we do allow in that first half term, if things haven't worked out, they're really not happy. It's always best to start day one in the subject that they want to do. They don't miss any content. They're not just getting into the flow of it. It's always better to turn up at the beginning of things, right? So we don't kind of look to that as it's not try it out as such, but if it's not working out, we do tend to then, with the head of year, go and speak to the teacher. Is it what are the barriers, and can we support with that? If it was just the wrong decision, we can then look to change. However, I do block this. Completely free choice means that then I go away and try and fit all the different options together in order to be what a child wants. If they change their mind in September, there might not be then another subject that they can switch to that's their a preferred choice. So it is important that they spend as much time as possible now thinking about it, and that they feel that they're going into it with the best with the best of intentions to stay with that subject. Just choose CCF section in year 9, yes, but that will be done internally. That can be spoken with Mr. Cooper and Mr. Holmes. Okay, is there any advice? Yes, we can. Happy to talk to you about careers. If you have a specific idea in mind, and sometimes there are subjects that need to be taken. Often it's not, though. Often at GCSE it's less important. So happy to give more advice if you want to take that offline and ask me something specific. Generally, we go with the principle that I'm sure we've all taken, which is if you enjoy a subject, that will be something you want to carry forward, and then hopefully a career pops out of that at the end of it. So rather than I really want to do this in the future, so I'm going to struggle on with subjects I really hate, it generally ends badly, and children end up dropping those subjects. But yeah, happy to, if you've got something in mind and you want some particular advice, happy to take that one offline. Yeah, I think I've addressed everything in the chat. Miss Anastasia, are you?
No, I think everything is addressed. So if you have any further questions, please do email us. We are I can't get my words out now. Both of our emails are on the screen there. So you're able to then contact us directly. And if you need any further information for our Langley senior pupils, we are going to be doing a head of year assembly anyway, because I know some of you are attending this meeting. So you'll know a little bit more as well. But also for our Langley Prep students, they will also have a assembly, hopefully closer to their deadline too. Thank you very much and have a lovely rest of your evening.
Yeah, thanks everyone for giving your time to this. We hope it's been helpful. Always open to feedback. If you've got anything to add about how things could be improved, please let us know. We're always happy to adapt.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.